This is Game Night San Antonio.
Overall, it was a great game. Defensively, we did a very good job.
With Ari Timpkin and GM3.
You can tell when he's feeling confident with his drive or with his jump shot.
A look inside your San Antonio Spurs.
Baseline three, bang!
1250 ESPN San Antonio.
The San Antonio Spurs' 20-game win streak is over following a 20-point beatdown in Game 3 of the Western Conference Finals. Oklahoma City, as the series shifted to their home court, really took it to San Antonio in Game 3.
Oh, it's all about turnovers. We knew that. Going in, the Spurs had to limit their turnovers. They turned the ball over 21 times, allowed the Thunder to get into easy transition buckets. That was the difference in the game. It was turnovers and points in the paint, which, the Spurs had been outscoring teams plus 13 points in the paint. They were minus 20 in Game 3. I mean, those are two areas that the Spurs need to improve on to win this series.
We talked about the Spurs having to weather the storm early. They do that in the first quarter. They fall behind 8-0, then storm back, take the lead, and it's a competitive game after one, but second quarter, third quarter especially, the Spurs just could not match the intensity and energy, the sense of urgency that the Thunder were playing with.
I mean, and what it came down to was the Thunder really did a good job in closing down the paint and limiting their abilities to get into the paint with their guards and open up jump shots. And Spurs just couldn't hit jump shots. And then when they missed, long rebounds, runouts, I mean, the Thunder, their success is predicated on their ability to get runouts, get easy buckets in transition, and get easy buckets and not play consistently out of the half-court set. The first two games, they played consistently out of the half-court set. In Game 3, they did not.
When you look at Game 3, the 102-82 loss for San Antonio, and they didn't shoot the ball well. Tim Duncan didn't shoot well. Tony Parker didn't. Manu Ginobili, none of the big three really shot well. Steven Jackson, DeJuan Blair, the only guys that were over 50%. Yes, I did say DeJuan Blair, all his points coming in garbage time. But you saw a lot of great defensive energy coming from Oklahoma City, getting into the passing lanes, disrupting what San Antonio does. For Greg Popovich now, I imagine the film session very interesting. What adjustments for Game 4?
What adjustments? I mean, go back to what made you successful in Games 1 and Game 2. Get into the paint, allow Tony Parker to get into the paint and open things up that way. I mean, what was different in Game 3 that the Spurs were unable to get into the paint and get easy buckets that way? And how do you go back to what happened in Game 1 and Game 2 to make that successful?
And again, for the San Antonio Spurs, they still lead the series 2-1. Game 4 Saturday night in Oklahoma City. There will be a Game 5 in San Antonio on Monday night. Ari&Minnix will have the latest weekday afternoons from 3 to 7 here on 1250 ESPN San Antonio and ESPNSA.com.
Game Night San Antonio with Ari Timpkin and GM3.